Good morning. And welcome. I'm stepping in for Mr. Ide today, who is attending a conference this week, and he sends his best wishes and congratulations to our seniors. We are here this morning to celebrate our seniors and to celebrate the generosity of our community. We are deeply grateful for the work that the Friends of Big Sky Education does on behalf of our school. And so it's with great pleasure that I introduce the Vice President and Secretary of FOBSE, Dr. Mistretta.
Thank you, Dr. M. It's a private joke here. Welcome, seniors especially. Juniors, pay attention because you'll be in the seniors' seats next year. Sponsors, donors, and community, and Dr. Shipman, who is somewhere here. Thank you so much for coming and helping us this morning. We are going to award $70,000, 70,000. In the next 45 minutes. I'll get my shopping spree out of the way, my shopping spree feeling. So who are we? We're Friends of Big Sky Education, FOBSE for short. We're a public charitable organization that was founded in 2004, primarily to support secondary education, and we really pushed the community to discuss, vote on, help us out with the legislature, and we were able to open a high school in 2009. So all the FOBSE members and everybody in here that had anything to do with that, thank you. When FOBSE realized that goal in 2009, we refocused to support of all things education K-12, but also a big focus on the arts. And we also focused on education for the community at large. For instance, we of FOBSE designed this Warren Miller Performing Arts Center, and we went out to the community, ran a capital campaign, and funded the money that we needed in order to bring a performing arts center to Big Sky. The FOBSE Scholarship Committee is a subcommittee of FOBSE, and we formed to raise funds for college scholarships. So the Scholarship Committee consists of myself and my husband, who's hiding back there somewhere. Where is he? Over there. Jerry Mistretta, Whitney Littman, and Marcia McKillop. Give a wave of your hand. There's also a selection committee that includes 4 other people who are staff. They're either staff at the high school or community members. For the class of 2018, more than 110 individuals, 20 businesses, 4 foundations, and 5 organizations contributed funds to make the $70,000 possible. So what is a scholarship? It's an award to a student made on the basis of some type of achievement and/or financial need. There were 42 scholarships. 5 of the scholarships target students with financial need. 4 of these scholarships were fortunate because the very first year we did this was 2014, and at that point there was only 1 scholarship that would run into the second year. And by this year, we have 4 scholarships that will replicate the following year. Most of the FOBSE scholarships are awarded on students' academic performance and participation and community activities over the course of their high school years. So please listen while we tell you about the sponsors. I think that you'll hear that almost all of the sponsors are very involved in some way in this community. It's a critical component. Volunteerism is a critical component of making Big Sky run. And that's why we call this project the Community Scholarship Program. Enjoy the next hour while we celebrate our seniors' 4 years of achievement and the community that supports them. At the end of the presentation, we invite everyone to meet over coffee and breakfast snacks. And juniors, please let the seniors get there to the food first. One little housekeeping thing is every student will get a folder, and in that folder, there's a very important document. It tells you how to get access to your funds, so don't lose it. John Zirkle, come on down. The Warren Miller Performing Arts Center Scholarship, you're going to stand right over here.
Lots of rehearsal.
The Warren Miller Performing Arts Center Scholarship, organized for a 4th year by Executive and Artistic Director John Zirkle, identified extensive involvement in the WAMPAC as the most important criterion for this award. The WAMPAC opened in 2013 through the efforts of Friends of Big Sky Education. The Performance Center obviously provides space for community performing and visual arts entertainment. The space has spawned amazing opportunities as well for our youth, both in school and in the community, learning experiences. John is also going to present 2 scholarships. The second one is the Huntley Scholarship for Women's Study, and sponsored by Kelly Huntley Kern, who's Chet Huntley's great niece. Kelly lives in New York City as a graduate student in international relations. She returns to Montana several times each year to center herself. Historically, Montana can boast about strong women from early pioneer days through the present. This scholarship supports the continued development of great women. Kelly offered this scholarship to a student who's interested in pursuing studies related to women and gender studies, women's empowerment, closing gender gaps, women's rights, equal access, and gender equality. Now, we didn't have somebody who exactly matched that, but we had some discussions with Kelly. So who won these awards? Science courses, check them off. No grade below an A. Arts and language arts, check them off. No grade below an A. AP Science and Language and Composition tests scored a 4 and a 5. ACT, American College Test, in the top 98 percentile. It's no wonder that Anna Alvine It's no wonder that Anna Alvine is unsure whether she'll study the arts or sciences in college. Throughout her years at LPHS, Anna immersed herself in the arts, local theater, the Thespian Society, School Film Club, writing projects at Interlochen in Michigan, the Yellowstone Writing Project, Hatch, Big Timber Arts Roundup, and the Art Venture Program in Seattle. Anna took every music course available, and she's dedicated hundreds of hours to the WAMPAC. Anna's teachers describe her as a, quote, deeply sensitive and caring person, unquote, as evident with her work with younger actors and leading docents. While no student who applied for the Women's Scholarship intends to focus on women's studies, we selected Anna, whose attitudes and spirit foster not only women's productivity, but growth for all. Joe Miller, I know I saw you. And Kevin, Connie, and Julia Barton. Come on down. The FIRST Security Bank Scholarship is intended for a student with significant motivation and aptitude for a selected area of study. A community-minded bank, FIRST Security has participated in the scholarship program for 4 years now. Joe, thanks for being with us and thanks for facilitating this for 4 years. Kevin and Connie are on stage now to give the Tina Barton Memorial Scholarship, and it's intended for a student whose interests lie in education, culinary arts or the arts, all interests of Tina Barton. Having earned her BA in elementary education, Tina has an intimate connection with childhood development. Her creative and artistic flair, coupled with her undeniable talent as a home cook, is the inspiration for this scholarship in her honor. One of Tina's personal challenges that not many knew about was her audition for Gordon Ramsay's MasterChef competition, where she proudly received a coveted apron. She dreamed of opening Sweet Tea's Kitchen right in the Ace Hardware, and it's there, and it's wonderful. If you haven't shopped there, do it. She would have specialized in home-style comfort food. Sweet Tea's is now the signature specialty housewares department with Ace. So when we couldn't find her on the Wampach stage in one of 13 roles that she played since 2008, then we looked for her on the first ever Lone Peak High School cheering squad, prompting the new team. Next, we searched with the Thespian Society at Hatch and at Big Timber Arts Roundup. And we still couldn't find Abby Hogan, but she's here now. So come on up. Abby is also receiving a second Warren Miller Performing Arts Center scholarship. We finally located Abby at Headwaters State Park near Three Forks, studying Native Americans with University of Montana professor Rick Gretz for her capstone experience. Abby says, quote, "I want to keep the arts in my life for as long as possible, and I'm going into college to study a double major in creative writing and theater performing arts." Congratulations. Scott and Martha Johnson, come on down. Jerry, do you think that you can come down? No? Scott and Martha Johnson are business leaders in the Big Sky community with an interest in supporting students who will study business. For years, Martha worked with local students through the Warren Miller Freedom Foundation to lead students to become financially strong and independent by introducing them to the principles of American economic system. The Scott and Martha Johnson Scholarship is offered to a student who demonstrates an entrepreneurial spirit and a passion for creating and growing his or her own business. The successful applicant will have shown a results-based attitude at Lone Peak High School. The Gregory Mistretta Memorial Scholarship for Leadership is organized by my husband Jerry and me in honor of our deceased son Greg, who was a school leader throughout middle school and high school. He was the captain of several athletic teams, basketball, tennis, crew. Greg led in the classroom and in student government. In college at the University of Connecticut, go Huskies, when he wasn't working for his internship at an international brokerage firm in New York City, Greg was skiing, fishing, or telling jokes. The Mistrettas offer annual scholarships at Lone Peak High School, as well as a sizable annual scholarship in their original home state of Connecticut. All that to honor their son, Greg. Along with his straight A grades and second place in the Lone Peak High School class of 2018, Holden Samuels takes with him to college in Boulder, Colorado, his many athletic sponsorships and awards. Most recently, his second place in the Free Ride Junior World Championships in Austria. I saw the film. Holden's path through life has been down a mountain slope, where he's won national and international competitions. Holden's sick bird style toward a business degree includes winning or placing in local and regional film awards, the 2017 Lone Peak Shootout and Teton Gravity Research GROM. He's developed his acumen as a businessman by expanding his brand as a snowboarder, negotiating sponsorships, filming, and editing videos, building a website to showcase himself. Results, Holden earned at least 3 sponsorships. Along the way, Holden competed in Lone Peak High School football, wrestling, and golf. He participated in Boys State, Model UN. He worked at Ace Hardware, Haas Builders, and as a camp counselor. YouTube has a GoPro film of Holden, his world competition, where he definitely is standing and boarding at the peak of excellence. Holden was accepted at the Leeds Business School at Colorado University. I knew this would happen. Can you find his write-up and I'll go on to somebody else? Simpkins family. Is anyone here for Simpkins? This Commander Kenny Alley. Come on up. The Simpkins Family Town Center Scholarship is offered to a student with strong academic performance and community service. Bill Simpkins is a successful developer here in Big Sky, whose town center development is expanding retail and living space for our ever-growing community. In the program for 4 years. The American Legion, the local chapter of the Legion, offers this scholarship in the first year to embrace national security and civic engagement. The awarded a student whose background to country participation in an American Legion-sponsored event, such as the Ori contest, etc. The student must consider a program in college or military service or other type of public service. We thank Dick Allwood, and Jeremy Harder for their work with the Legion and their support of those of our country, their dedication to our local youth. And Marcia, I need you to come up too, sorry. Marcia will be presenting the Bennett Family Scholarship that honors their son who played 3 sports at Lone Peak High School while volunteering in the community and working several jobs to save for college. So, she can set a ball for a spike. She can execute a pick and roll. She attacks the net in doubles tennis. Catherine Pearl Hoffman. Also known as Katie Pearl, KP for short. Through Rotary Interact Club, Girls for a Change, Big Brothers Big Sisters, coaching middle school basketball, working at Morningstar, or patiently serving as wait staff at the 320 or the BIWAM. KP has shown that she's a caring person who helps others, particularly younger students. Katie Pearl gained leadership skills through both the Rotary Youth Awards Summer Camp and the American Legion Auxiliary Summer Leadership and Citizenship Program. During her stint with the American Legion program, KP promoted a bill advocating for increased mental health education during the mock Senate. All of this experience points toward her ultimate study at Miles Community College. Quote, "I've chosen to take forward both my love of basketball and of helping people as I pursue my college degree. In particular, KP likes that her basketball scholarship there will put her in touch with community kids. Quote, playing the sport I love and continuing my passion for community service." Lauren Bow and Tim Kent. I know Tim's here, I saw him. The Bow Family Scholarship targeted a student with strong academic achievement, leadership, and athletic achievement in multiple sports. The Bows moved to Big Sky full-time in 2003 and quickly became proponents of a local high school and established that Big Sky, Friends of Big Sky Education, to foster that long road, it felt like, to get to the high school. In 2009, they and the entire Big Sky community realized the dream with the opening of Lone Peak High School. Both Lauren and Jill are on many local boards, including FOBSE, the school board, and Warren Miller Performing Arts Center boards. The Bows are all about education. They have sponsored many scholarships since the first year of this initiative. The Big Sky Western Bank is committed to serving its customers and its shareholders by being active participants in all types of community activities. The Big Sky Community Housing Trust is a current focus to help address the #1 issue for residents in Big Sky. They sponsor first-time home buyer classes in cooperation with HRDC. They also promote financial literacy programs to help community members make smart financial decisions. Sometimes they have fun, like at the Big Sky ski touring event. The Big Sky Western Bank Scholarship targeted a student with at least a 3.0, and Big Sky Western wished for their scholarship to go to a particular student. There's an anonymous scholarship that came in just last week, and the specified criteria also matches this particular student. And sometimes a student comes along who shines not only on the football field, basketball court, baseball diamond, golf links, and ski slopes, but also on stage in theater productions, holding a mic as a reporter and behind a lens as a photographer. Jackson Wade, you know it's you. Jackson Wade is just such a student. His humility shows through in both the classroom and on athletic teams, where he learned that teamwork and understanding are often more important than an actual grade or a win. This modesty serves Jackson well while he works as a golf or ski instructor, not afraid to wash dishes, mow golf course greens, or sell cookies. Where'd that come from? Jackson showed himself to be one of the most supportive students during Lone Peak High School expeditions. He even caught fish that was served for supper while camping with his high school classmates. We're proud that Jackson takes an A average along with him to Linfield College in Oregon, where he will study environmentalism. Kathy Gorman, Tim Sear, come on up. Renee Schumacher, come on up. And Marcia for Hammond? Oh, I'm sorry, Katie. Kathy Gorman and Tim Sear, broker owners of Big Sky Sotheby's International Realty, targeted their scholarship toward a highly motivated student with a minimum GPA of 3.0. Kathy and Tim have lived and worked in Big Sky since the 1980s, raised their children here, and have supported the school district for over 35 years. Tim and Kathy sponsor and support many arts-focused events, such as Strings Under the Big Sky, Meadow Village Art Walk. Big Sky Sotheby's is a 4-year participant in this scholarship program. Steve and Renee Schumacher, owners of the Conoco for over 25 years, 25 years, 90, not that old. 1993, I didn't do the math there. Renee has volunteered on several boards, the tax board, fire department, hospital. They donate both their time and money to all things education. This year, the Schumachers dedicated a scholarship to a student with at least a 3.0 with motivation and aptitude in their chosen study field. Hammond Property Management, thank you for coming, Katie, has been in the property management business for over 20 years, and they're happy and proud to be able to help a local student in collegiate endeavors. The Hammond Property Management Scholarship targets a student who plans to study in a technical programming or a trade type situation. Along with a strong and solid student in the classroom, it was an outside classroom experience that transformed this student. The Big Bald Dave Scholarship, sponsored by the Yellowstone Club Community Foundation, made a difference in this student's life. While he was helping residents of a small town in Costa Rica, he set up a trash system and improving hiking trails. Caleb Gall. Is one missing? Sorry. We'll get it to you. I'm sorry. No, stay there. Yep. Gosh, it's really amazing. We have 23 students, and it seemed like a lot more work than 12 students last year. Caleb Gale learned some important lessons that led ultimately to the anticipated career. Working in impoverished communities in another country helped him to understand how a, quote, few simple tasks can go a long way, unquote. From community service experiences in Big Sky and abroad, Caleb became inspired with the importance of helping others. That led to his taking an EMT, emergency medical technician course, which then led to his decision to study as a paramedic. Caleb looks forward to helping others by providing expert pre-hospital care. A decision Caleb will make along the way is whether to apply his credits later to a 4-year degree in emergency services management. Congratulations, and we need you. Apologies to Sotheby's. Might be in another folder. Kathy Davehouse, come on down. And John Haas. No, I made it through without a lot of crying. I do. The Devin White Scholarship, Memorial Scholarship, was established by his friends and family to have his life honored and remembered. He made Big Sky his home in 1972, worked on the original road up to the resort, and then in 1988 purchased the Corral Bar and Steakhouse with his good friends. Throughout his life, Devin was an amazing mentor and friend to many young people, and always encouraged them to follow their dreams. Many lives were touched by his generosity and friendship, and they feel this scholarship would be a proper way to help carry out his spirit by helping the youth of Big Sky follow their own dreams. The Haas Builder Scholarship was designated for a student who's motivated and academically strong. John Haas, who's been active with scholarships for 4 years through a local foundation, sponsored this scholarship starting last year through his company. John strongly believes in giving back to the community as evidenced by his philanthropic and foundation work. The third word here is going to give this one away. Whether running a tugboat, come on up, Jackson. Whether running a tugboat to move yachts or supplies to remote communities or examining the steelhead catch display at Roxy's, Jackson Radin is all about the ocean, a unique interest here in landlocked Big Sky, Montana. Jackson is definitely preparing himself to run and own a business by first studying at the University of Southeast Alaska in Ketchikan for an Associates of Applied Science in Marine Transportation. Ultimately, Jackson hopes to complete a 4-year degree and run his own business. To prepare for that, he's worked in Alaska for 2 4-month stints and a capstone experience, guiding, repairing engines, operating heavy equipment, and gaining experience at a sport fishing company. Back here in Big Sky, Jackson has worked at Roxy's, advancing from cashier to a quasi-management position. Jackson says, quote, "The ocean has become a calling, and I believe I have found a way to build a career around it." Jackson's teachers say he's got the grit to achieve his goals. Kevin Barton, come on down, and Beth Hoffman, come on down. The Ace Hardware Big Sky Scholarship is dedicated to a student who enters a 2-year trades technical program. Kevin has owned the Ace Hardware for well over 20 of its 30 years. Under his supervision, Ace is the place for many contractors working in our growing community. Kevin and Ace support the school community and offered this scholarship for the last 4 years. And this is only our 4th year of having these scholarships, so these folks that have been doing this for 4 years are wonderful. Kevin and Julia attended the fundraiser Scholars Dollars Walk during the first 2 years of this scholarship initiative. Julia was one of only 2 students who did that. We appreciated it. Big Sky Build has participated in the FOBSE scholarships for 2 years now. The award is targeted toward a student headed into engineering, architecture, or construction management. John Seeley, owner of the company, says that Big Sky Build is proud to support the students of Ophir Elementary and Middle School and Lone Peak High School. And Beth is here, and you are the administrative assistant there. You run the company. How many of us would imagine that the path to a career would lie in making skiers' feet happy? Harry? While helping customers find the right boot fit, Harrison Schreiner, AKA Harry, discovered that, quote, a desk job is not going to be the right fit for me. Harry is headed to study in the trade world at an in-state college or university, pursuing a certificate of applied science and possibly a sustainable construction technology degree. To prepare for such a career, Harry worked at several local businesses: Ace, Big Sky Rock, and Grizzly Outfitters. Perhaps his biggest preparation has been mentally. Harry says, quote, throughout many projects at LPHS, I have come to realize that during the journey is where you can pick up lots of knowledge, not necessarily at the end, at the destination. Harry's teachers say, Harry has a very mechanical mind and is driven to understand how things work. So he will be successful. Linda Mead, Sharon Bowers, come on down. The Gallatin Canyon Women's Club Scholarship has been in existence since 1977. It's the oldest scholarship award to students in Big Sky. The funds derive from contributions made by women in the club. This is a merit-based scholarship that is intended for one who's demonstrated leadership, strong academic performance, and participation in extracurricular activities and community service. No grade less than an A, every semester on the high honor roll, 4 years as an academic all-state varsity athlete, participation in leadership positions in 5 LPHS clubs. We invite Julia Barton. Jules was just a freshman when she lost her mom, Tina, to cancer. Jules survived by learning how to recover emotionally from the trauma. She invested herself in her education, focused herself on healing and self-growth. And Julia was one of only 2 LPHS students, as I said, who came to the scholarship fundraising events during our first 2 years of this scholarship initiative. Julia challenged herself with 2 NOLS, National Outdoor Leadership Program, Wilderness Survival and Leadership Expeditions, one in the Wind River, Wyoming, and the other in North Cascades, Washington. According to her teachers, Julia's impact on LPHS has been enormous. She exhibited true leadership in building traditions in our still newly emerging high school. Julia herself organized an internship with Explore Big Sky newspaper to further hone her writing and communication skills, which she hopes to press into action in journalism and media production study. John Haas and anybody else from Spanish Peaks, come on down. Spanish Peaks Community Foundation is an organization that supports many community initiatives, and they stipulated that their scholarship would be awarded to a 3.0 or above GPA student with strong involvement and leadership in community service. The recipient may apply for a second year of this scholarship if the college transcript provides evidence of a 3.0 in freshman year. This is the fourth year that Spanish Peaks Community Foundation is participating in the FOBSE Scholarship Program. Okay, I apologize. I should have also invited Ray and Lydia Bartosek. And I practiced that. Bartosek. Ray and Lydia asked that the Bartosek Scholarship for a scholar athlete be awarded to a student athlete with at least a 3.0 GPA who best exemplifies sportsmanship, community involvement, and selfless contribution to their varsity team. According to this student, the next few years will be mirror images of his last four. Quote, I will continue to travel, participate in sports, learn new skills like rock climbing and kayaking, take classes in a wide range of topics, and continue challenging myself, says Howie Robin. I'm not sure if he made a decision yet, but Howie's headed either to Colorado College or the honors program at Western Washington for political science or journalism. He's earned an A- average and traveled a semester in Israel, a service trip to Nepal, which is next week. Wow. And free ride competitions in Canada. He participated in sports, football, baseball, track and field, soccer, and free ride. He learned new skills at the Big Timber Arts Roundup, the art venture in Seattle, and swapping his position as football stats manager for wide receiver on the team. And he continued to challenge himself, spending a week as an Israeli soldier and studying the Holocaust in Poland. Howie's currently working with his family to organize his dad's extensive writing. He hopes to prepare the poems, essays, and blog for publication as a testament to his dad, Mark Robin. And I knew it was in another folder. Sotheby's. Okay. I'll give it to you later for Caleb. Britt Ide, come on down. And are either Albert or is Diane Bart? Now I'm going to have a problem saying Bartsek. Bartosek. Yellowstone Club Community Foundation and members of the Yellowstone Club offer their scholarship to the graduating senior demonstrating excellent academic performance, significant community service, leadership, and commitment to pursuing overall achievement. YCCF offers several other scholarships to local and regional students beyond the FOBSE scholarship. Diane Bartzik worked hard to launch and continue a local food bank here in Big Sky, support the growing food services program at Missoula College, University of Montana. Albert and Diane have offered multiple scholarships for both trades and social services over the past 4 years. The Bartzik Family Scholarship for Social Services is dedicated to a student who plans to major in a program such as special education, psychology, social worker, etc. So with only one course grade below an A, This student was admitted with distinction at Western Washington University. Carter, come on down. Carter will enroll there after taking a gap year. She expects to study occupational therapy and psychology, and it seems that her resume reads fully as a precursor to this study. Carter says, quote, "I believe LPHS and Big Sky is all about relationships. One special relationship that Carter cultured herself was with a student with Down syndrome. Quote, "The relationship I formed with her made me more patient and more experienced with teaching others and cemented my future career choice as an occupational therapist." Carter is no stranger to hard physical work. She did trail work on Mount Massive in Colorado. She designed and helped create a mountain bike trail. She counseled and led local basketball teams and played volleyball and basketball herself. Teachers say that Carter carries that same engagement and determination into the classroom, excelling at Socratic seminar discussions and participating in finding some nugget of relevance out of even the driest topic. And I am turning this over so I can go get a drink of water to Whitney Littman.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. I'd like to invite Dave O'Connor and Stacy and Eric Osorio. The Big Sky Chamber of Commerce serves community and regional members, offering tools, training, and tips to ensure that businesses thrive. The Chamber has participated in this scholarship program for 3 years. The Chamber, which supports local businesses here in Big Sky, targets students pursuing studies in fields related to business. Eric and Stacy Osorio initiated the Osorio Family Scholarship this year. Eric and Stacy are active in the Big Sky community and have served on several boards. They dedicated their scholarship to a student who has demonstrated exemplary personal and academic achievement through engagement in a range of programs and activities over a period of years. Thank you, Stacy. How many high school students can indicate on their applications that they learned enough Mandarin Chinese to give directions to a cab driver in Beijing? Zach Cohn. Zach is among the few. Zach applauds his family's move from Los Angeles to Big Sky because he says, "I can comfortably talk to any student as a friend and not just a classmate." He credits Big Sky and Lone Peak High School with his growth in self-esteem, which then led to his raising his GPA from a 3.0 in freshman year to a 4.2 by senior year. Well done. Zach played football and golf and rode competitively on the freeride team. He participated in the Interact Club and the Model UN. During this time, he volunteered locally and on the coral reefs of the British Virgin Islands. Zach tells us that in the spirit of Big Sky itself, believing there isn't anything that is impossible and willing to put myself within new experiences. He heads off to college in the fall where he will study international business and Chinese and represent Big Sky in a manner that will make family, classmates, and the town proud. Congratulations, Zach. Ty and Pride Moline. Can you come down? The Agency Insurance Division Scholarship is sponsored by Ty and Pride Moline, longtime residents of Big Sky. In sponsoring this award, the Molines targeted a student who intends to study in the trades, such as mechanics, cosmetics, electrical, electronics, welding, and construction. The recipient may apply for a second year of funding. Ty has served on several boards and coaches wrestling.
Yes, we do have a wrestling team.
He's taking recruits. Food bank, boosters, and sponsoring exchange students are initiatives undertaken by the Molines. Somewhere late in sophomore year, the student realized that she had potential and could succeed if she just applied herself and grasped the importance of time and task management. My mom didn't raise a quitter. She raised a strong, independent, and smart girl, says Peyton King. Come on down. More introspective than a quitter, Peyton graduated in December with a solid B average and a plan to study accounting at Montana State University. Skill sets that had been her nemesis have become her strengths. Peyton played volleyball and basketball and worked with Coach Moline with the Singleton wrestler, who is Peyton's brother. Hunting and archery feature as hobbies and target Peyton as a prime example of the Ty Moline creed of life lived to the fullest. Skidding into the afterlife in a cloud of smoke, loudly proclaiming, "Wow, what a ride." Jack Luchtefeld and Linda Mead. Big Sky residents and retirees, Jack Luchtefeld and Linda Mead, are community active. Linda serves on 2 boards and Jack volunteers for HOA committees. They have participated in the FOBSE Scholarship Program through major donations during the last 4 years. Last year, they began sponsoring a scholarship in the memory of Jack's parents, Richard and Marie Luchtefeld, who strongly supported education. Their scholarship targeted an academically deserving student who could use some assistance to continue academic study after high school. Thank you. Hailing from the Show Me state, Jaylene Cole, come on down. Jaylene certainly showed us her strengths. A shooting guard with an awesome 3-point shot, Jay hailed from Missouri, where she had been selected as National American Miss Missouri. She spent only her senior year with us here in Big Sky. Beyond her own practice and competitions, Jay has been all things basketball, sharing basketball skills by coaching youngsters and retirees in Missouri. Quote, "Playing basketball consumes me and has become part of my very existence," end quote. She showed her grit when she worked hard to return to the court just 4 months after an ACL injury. And although she has been with us for such a short time, Jay, a serious art student, undertook a skill and interest focus that led to dance, study, and development of a dance that raises awareness of mental health issues. Jaylene plans to return to Missouri and attend college for art and play basketball. Congratulations. Wendy Burton and Marcia. The Milky's Rap Shack Scholarship was sponsored by Wendy Burton and Van Burton, who have owned Milky's for 23 years. They also support the local food bank, the homeless shelter in Bozeman, and a local softball team. Karen Macklin owned the Rap Shack for 7 years, and although she recently sold the restaurant, she stayed committed to this scholarship. The new owners also plan to support community initiatives. The North Slope and Mountainscape Scholarship is sponsored. Doug, do you want to come down? Is sponsored by the North Slope Maintenance and Mountainscapes Landscaping. The McKillop family moved to Big Sky in 2006. Marcia and Mark McKillop, have supported the school through the Booster Club and other athletic program participation. Marcia joined the FOBSE Community Scholarship Initiative this past fall. Doug Stars of Mountainscapes has lived in Big Sky since the early 1990s and started the landscaping business in 1993. Doug is active in his church and dedicates himself to his children's athletic programs. When I arrived here from Alaska, I was shocked by the immense sense of community in Big Sky. Transplanted 5 years ago, Sarah Maynard, congratulations. Sarah says she has learned a lot about life and herself from the people of Big Sky. Sarah admits that sports keep her sane. Track, cross-country running, Nordic skiing, alpine ski racing, golf. Sarah says, quote, I always try one too many every season, and she had to start coaching to pay for racing fees. Thank you as you coached my son. Sarah earns kudos as a children's Nordic ski coach through BSSEF, and it was this coaching experience that brought together her thoughts about her adopted community and her future. Quote, I realized I was responsible for the example I set for my students, and this became an opportunity for me to put into practice the great lessons I have learned from other great people in Big Sky, end quote. While working with so many people in the ski industry and elsewhere, Sarah decided to study exercise science at Montana State University and became a physical therapist. Congratulations. Heather Morris. Moonlight Community Foundation, a community-minded organization, is awarding the Lee Poole Memorial Scholarship for a second year. Moonlight Community Foundation offered this scholarship to a highly motivated graduating senior who is pursuing success in a vocational or trade-related program. The recipient must demonstrate significant work ethic and dedication to quality and innovation. MCF also hoped to reward a student with interest in conservation. Quote, living in Big Sky can be both heaven and hell, end quote. The student told us. But since Evan Redmond, come on up. Since Evan lives in cowboy heaven, it can't be hell, even when the temps are minus 38. Evan came to appreciate our local environment through the LPHS expeditions. Quote, I wouldn't know anything about camping or respecting the kind of beauty we are surrounded by if not for those excursions, end quote. Inspired by the expeditions and his environmental coursework at LPHS, Evan not only scored a 4 on the AP exam, but he also took his passion to Boise State last year, crafting legislation requiring all students to study environmental science in high school. However, Evan plans to exchange the Montana mountains for the island beauty of Hawaii, where he will take pre-health requisites and then attend physician's assistant school. Evan's job shows an entrepreneurial spirit that forecasts a unique vocational approach to his life. He began a vacation house cleaning service and taught himself how to make money through online study and online job fulfillment. Along the way, Evan earned the lead male role in school theater every year for 9 years, played various instruments in the jazz band for 7 years, played football for 7 years, and participated in many other activities. Aloha, Evan. Dr. Mistretta, do you want to help me with these? Thank you. The Yellowstone Club Realty Scholarship is designed for a high-achieving, well-rounded student with at least a 3.0 GPA. The student's interests should include natural resource protection, preservation, and enhancement for the enjoyment of the community. Bechtel architects generally donate to cancer support, the veterans, kids' sports teams, and other organizations. The Bechtel architects sponsored this scholarship because it is the gift of knowledge that will develop our future leaders in the community. This scholarship targeted a student leader with technical problem-solving and artistic skills. Tiny Big Sky served as a launching pad for the student who took advantage of every opportunity to study and experience the world. Garrett Klotz. Garrett studied in Costa Rica in a language immersion experience where he improved his Spanish and then returned to practice on J1 visa employees at the local resorts. At the moment, Garrett is most likely packing for his service trip to Nepal with the Rotary International Interact Club. Garrett also enhanced his global awareness through the Model UN. Garrett expects to study business at a university in the Southwest. Although life has yet to reveal the focus of this business study, or whatever he'll be able to press his Spanish into action, Garrett is preparing himself for the experience. Garrett is studying with Corky Miller, the Big Sky School District business manager. He also spent 10 months working a trade as a plumber's assistant on construction sites and studied computer-assisted design at Lone Peak High School. Congratulations. Josh Treasure and Caitlin Paps, and Ross Poole and Marla Ganoom. Roxy's Market, which opened in 2014, is proud to be a part of this Big Sky community. Committed to providing locally sourced organic and quality food and goods, Roxy's immediately joined the community to support many initiatives, contributing to the local food bank and many other community and school events. With the belief that education is the key to success, one of Roxy's priorities is to help equip our kids with opportunities to realize their potential and achieve their dreams. Roxy's is honored and humbled to present one of the greatest assets any young adult can receive, a scholarship to pursue education. Roxy's offered this scholarship to a senior who has demonstrated excellent work ethic while maintaining a 3.0 GPA. The recipient's resume also reflected work experience as well as community service. American Bank offered this scholarship to a deserving individual who is academically motivated and who exemplifies genuine kindness to fellow classmates and community members. The student is involved in public service and extracurricular activities. American Bank is proud to be one of the scholarship donors for the Lone Peak High School class of 2018 and wishes all the graduates much success in the future. Through this scholarship of the American Bank family, hopes to encourage and support the continuing education of one of these talented and inspirational young graduates. The bank strongly believes that the Lone Peak High School students will promote positive change in the community and country in the future. Thank you. Quote, I learned through my school years that verbal communication is my biggest strength, end quote. But Bryn Iskandarian, Bryn also learned that she thrives through challenge and cherishes contributing to the community. Bryn's teachers describe her as outgoing, generous, and amiable, a teenager with a quick smile and a kind word. But Bryn hasn't coasted on personality. Bryn assesses math as a challenge for her, yet she took some of the hardest math courses and didn't just survive, she thrived. Her community service took her all the way to Costa Rica for sea turtle conservation. Despite busy athletic schedules in 5 sports, both at Lone Peak High School and at the Vail Mountain School, where she spent freshman year, Bryn also found time to work at a local bakery. She is proud that she supported younger students, volunteering through Big Brothers Big Sisters, Girls for a Change, and volleyball camps and clinics. Bryn built a solid foundation for her religious studies and communications major at the University of Colorado, Boulder. Congratulations, Bryn. Mike Scholes and Dr. Jeff Daniels. Renowned hoteliers, Buck and Helen Knight, the first owners of Buck T4 in 1945, were known for the assistance that they gave to anyone who needed it. The Knights instituted the Buck and Helen Knight Foundation in the 1970s as a way to continue their hospitality and community work. The Mike Schultz and Bob Narrett families organized this scholarship in the Knights' memory. The organization awards scholarships to students in both Big Sky and Bozeman. Daniels Scholarship for Medicine. Dr. Daniels transported from New York City to Big Sky in 1994 to open a medical clinic here. He cared for the community at both the Mountain and Town Center locations until his practice merged with Bozeman Health. Doc Daniels sponsored and trained medical students across 2 decades, and in that spirit, he and his wife, Evie, offered this scholarship to a Lones Peak High School student who intends to study medicine as a doctor or a nurse. Raised on one side of the continent, this student is headed to the other coast after graduation with a nursing degree from Montana State University. Dee Pruitt. Delaney, who wants to work towards a certified nursing anesthetist and head east to Boston for advanced nursing practice. Dee comes by the travel bug honestly. She lived in San Diego until 6th grade, and after 9th grade, Dee was selected as the recipient of the Big Ball Dave Scholarship through the Yellowstone Club Community Foundation. Her scholarship sent her to Peru for a unique 2-week curriculum of teaching English in small villages, building reliable stoves, and mudding bricks to reduce lung diseases resulting from cooking over open fires, and some whitewater rafting. Possibly, this is the experience that inspired Dee to consider nursing as a career. Dee is now just 2 weeks away from her EMT, Emergency Medical Technician's license, a first step toward practicing medical care. Congratulations. Lauren Bow and Dr. Todd and Stacy Chapman. The Friends of Big Sky Education is a school support organization founded in 2004. All FOBSE projects are accomplished through the efforts of unpaid professionals. FOBSE was the leader in the effort to open a high school in Big Sky, the construction and sponsorship of the WAMPAC, refurbishing of the football stadium, and the tablet technology in the classroom. FOBSE annually offers a scholarship to a high-achieving student whose resume reflects significant involvement in school and community service. Dr. Todd and Stacy Chapman made medicine their lives. Before they retired, Todd was an orthopedic surgeon and Stacy was a nurse. The Chapmans dedicated the Chapman Scholarship for Traditional Medicine to a student seeking a career in traditional medicine. Preference was given based on academic performance and community involvement. Scoring in the top 2 percentile on the ACT and number 1 in the class of 2018, Nick Iskandarian. Nick is definitely headed off to study medicine. Nick tells us that although he is nationally competitive in the strenuous sport of Nordic skiing, competition is not his only inspiration. Quote, "At first, I challenged myself academically and demanded personal excellence because I wanted to prove to myself that I could be the best. However, my classes began having real-world application and the realization that the information I was learning in classes directly applied to impactful careers inspired me. My volunteer experience over the past few years taught me the profound impact of selflessness and the importance of trying to improve the community." I think that's the end of the quote. What are these experiences that Nick references? First, you need to know that in order to compete nationally, Nick undertook an academic program that allowed him to pursue Nordic skiing while continuing local schoolwork. This long-distance relationship did not deter Nick from taking the most rigorous courses Lone Peak High School offers and still producing A work. While lettering in 3 other sports, Nick found time to tutor and train others to improve their academics and athletics. His internship at the Kalispell Hospital sealed his interest in being the best he can be while still helping others. Congratulations, Nick. Nick, come back. Thank you. Are John and Laura Michael here? No, okay. Dr. Mistretta? For a 4th year, John and Laura Michael have funded the TRG Scholarship for Entrepreneurial Students. The Michaels, owners and founders of Trade Risk Guarantee, an import insurance company, since 1991, value student engagement in entrepreneurship. Principal donors for the Bighorns football field, the Michaels have invested finances and themselves in Lone Peak High School. This is the 4th year the Michaels are offering a scholarship, and the scholarship focus has evolved from purely business to the business of the arts, supporting an entrepreneurial spirit associated with the arts industry. Quote, I am very thankful that my community is so supportive of the arts. I've learned that film is my passion and that I am good at it, end quote, says Ethan Schumacher. Ethan credits the ski movies he's grown up with here in the mountains. He said, quote, it's all real. These aren't computer-generated images of people pretending to be scared, sad, or happy. It's the raw truth, end quote. Homegrown filming of friends skiing merited awards in local film competitions that included adult contestants, and they spawned a career. That led to the photography and film presentations right here in the Wampach and publications in local newspapers and ski magazines. Ethan's interests and success in filming and photography pushed him towards a capstone project with Skylab Media House, filming interviews for Powder Week and generating those interesting local shorts for Lone Peak Cinema. Ethan's art teacher at Lone Peak High School says, quote, I feel confident that he will soon have work published in a wider variety of publications. I will not be at all surprised when I open a Powder magazine or even National Geographic and see a photograph by him, end quote. And guess what? Ethan plans to study film and photography at the University of Utah, or MSU, so he can launch himself into that career. Congratulations. Dr. Mistretta. Chet Huntley's niece, Kristen Kern, and her family offer this initial Huntley Family Scholarship for Environmental Study in memory of Chet Huntley, the former newscaster and Montana native who developed the Big Sky Resort. Chet cared deeply about Montana's wilderness and wanted to protect it for future recreation. The scholarship is intended for a student who is interested in pursuing studies related to conservation, forestry, wildlife, and general studies. Quote, Lone Peak High School emphasis on students' interaction with the environment has taught me that I am both a hands-on and a visual learner. From field trips about igneous rocks to annual high school camping expeditions, Lone Peak High School has never failed to create new and unique learning opportunities. This emphasis on the outdoors has helped me find my interests and hobbies. 5th grade snow science was originally what piqued my interest in the backcountry. 6 years later, I found myself standing on the top of an Icelandic fjord during a backcountry ski trip, thinking back to these early memories with gratitude, end quote. Kuka Holder. Kuka is describing her capstone experience through Keeley's ski camp for girls, where the guides are Olympians and World Cup skiers. Kuka invested her time in athletics, the Interact Club, and the Environmental Club. She is described by teachers as hardworking, thoughtful, and reflective. Kuka turned on while in environmental science. quote, speaking confidently about the topic at hand, be it global water shortages or the American food system, end quote. Kuka plans to attend the University of Portland and possibly study environmentalism. Congratulations. Thank you. Lauren Bao, our last but not least student. The entire Bao family hails from Montana and embraces the Montana spirit as their family has for many generations. The Baos wish their scholarship to be awarded to an outstanding and ambitious student who also embodies Montana's rural yet cultured background. They specified that the recipient will have produced an exemplary transcript through participation in a wide variety of experiences that Big Sky and Lone Peak High School offer in the arts and sciences. The scholar will also have demonstrated leadership in Class C varsity athletics, kindness, and talent sharing with others. Quote, until I was in the 8th grade, I lived in Ennis, a town with fewer than 800 people who were mostly focused on sports and hunting. When I moved to Big Sky, I found myself surrounded by kids with dreams of seeing the world and hopes to pursue unique goals. It is this divide of worlds that has made me who I am. Liam. Liam embraces the Montana ethic of hunting, fly fishing, and wilderness experiences, but also lives in a world of the arts and technology. Over the next 4 years, he will strive to meld into that background the Philadelphia experience as delivered through study in computer science and business at the University of Pennsylvania. Liam became the school's graphic designer, assisting both staff and students with design of posters, logos, and artwork. He even co-designed a snowboard that raised over $18,000 for Lone Peak High School arts and technology expenditures. Yep. He is currently working on an app for the Big Sky Food Bank, lettered in 3 sports, awarded in the arts and government, and a major participant in 6 in-school clubs and 3 community-linked projects. Liam somehow found time to work at the Spanish Peaks Mountain Club. Congratulations, Liam. Congratulations. That concludes the awards of the scholarship. I'm going to have Dr. Shipman come up and conclude the ceremony.
What a great ceremony that was. So I just want to really briefly kind of conclude our ceremony today. You know, there's a number of things that you need to have a really robust scholarship program like we have here in Big Sky. First of all, we need really capable students, and we have those here. So could our 12th graders please stand up and please give them a good round of applause. So congratulations to each one of you. I know you're going to go off into the world and do great things. So along with really capable students, we need very generous donors. So if you're a donor who's still in the room, please stand up. And 12th graders, please give them a huge round of applause. And for you donors and scholarship committee people, know that no matter the size of the donation that you give, seniors, listen to me closely on this, every little bit is going to help you very soon. In order to have really capable kids like we have here, we have to have an outstanding parent set. And I see a lot of parents here, so if you're a parent, please stand up. You deserve a round of applause for raising the kids that you did. You send your kids to us in an average of 1,500 hours a year. Think about that, parents. You send your kids to this school district for 1,500 hours a year. I don't see a lot of staff here because they're working with your kids during that 1,500 hours, but let's give them a round of applause in absentia. The FOBSE fundraising starts very early in the year and it's probably started already for next year. The board members work really hard to do this, particularly Dr. Mistretta and her husband. But if you're a FOBSE board member, please stand up for a round of applause. And my last message here today is for our current juniors. You heard as Dr. Mistretta and Mrs. Littman talked about how all of these kids created a vision for themselves some time ago, and when it came time to apply for a scholarship, that they included that vision that they had for themselves to compete for these scholarships. They probably had the same thing that they're competing for places in college. So I encourage you to reflect back on what you heard and saw today and create that vision for yourself and prepare yourself for next year when the scholarship application time comes around. So with that, we invite you outside. Thanks for coming today. Thanks for your generous support. And 12th graders, congratulations.